Hey everybody, quick note before the episode. Since we recorded this episode, funding for TESOL for all government employees, which includes ESL, was pulled. We are still looking for some ways to make TESOL happen for ESL. I will be there, but we're not sure what about ESL.
Please be aware that some of the information or events mentioned in the episode are up in the air or maybe canceled if we can't find a way to get me to California. We are considering all the options, so please keep an eye on our social media for updates.
Regardless of what happens for us, we do, of course, hope that the excitement that we express in this recording can encourage you to have a good experience at TESOL 2025. So here's the episode that we recorded.
Coming to TESOL 2025 in Long Beach, we're sharing about what we're presenting, what we're keeping an eye out for, and how you can join us.
Welcome to the Diesel podcast, where we focus on developing innovation in English as a second or other language. I'm Brent Warner, professor of ESL, and I'm here with the wonderful Ixchell Reyes, teacher trainer extraordinaire, liver of lives, multiple lives.
A
Ixchell, how
lover
are
of
you?
life?
Yeah,
I'm great. How are you, Brent?
what are you making?
What do you mean I'm making? What am I making?
I don't know. We're trying to keep the making things going thing.
Oh, what am I making? Oh,
Yeah,
what am I making? Presentations, evidently, because
that's
I
right.
gave one yesterday.
Yeah, presentations. Well, that's all for today's conversation. I'm After this, I'm going to be making some meat sauce for pasta, so that'll
Oh,
be a little
well.
a little make for me. So today we got a lot to talk about,
Yeah, I'm
and
finally gonna see you.
I know it's been well, I thought I was going to see
Years.
you around Christmas, New Year's, but
Didn't happen.
you decided to fly to the other side of the world, so which was cool. Um, but now we're going to see you in March, so that's good. TESOL,
That's
TESOL,
right.
TESOL
T-Sol. I've been waiting
2025.
for T-Sol.
All right, tell me, what are your plans for TESOL? You're coming.
Oh my goodness, I'm coming and I'm so excited because obviously you and I are presenting and we haven't presented together physically in years, right? We've had like
Mm-hmm.
online presentations, overseas presentations, but we're going to be together for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Um,
exciting.
but you're asking me, what are you asking me?
Well, I mean, you're going to be in Long Beach. I'll be in
Yeah, I'm
Long
going to be in
Beach.
Long Beach.
Yeah, so I think we're
Hmm.
pretty excited. This is our first time. So this is my first time to go to TESOL in many, many years.
The same. Hmm.
And partly I mean, there's a number of reasons. It's hard it's hard to get the funding to go to
Yeah, I
all
was
the
going to say
different
that it's the
sessions.
funding.
Yeah,
Hmm.
timing can be hard too. I have a general policy is that I
Hmm.
don't go to conferences during my class times, or I'll only miss one day. But since TESOL's always a midweek thing, it's unless it falls on
I
spring
know.
break for me, I can't go.
I'm so bummed because I'm actually that's the drawback is my class is graduating, a class of
Uh,
teachers, and I'm gonna miss their graduation, and that's such a I know they're gonna be sad. So it's
yeah,
like,
that is
oh
too bad.
yeah.
Yeah, so this year it
So Diesel,
happens.
please move it to
Yeah.
the weekend.
Yeah, do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, even Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like I
Yeah.
can justify taking one day off from my classes, from one class. So
Mhm.
sometimes I can do that, but to be like full week out is like, I can't do it. But I get it. I mean, it's hard to get all these things going. So we're gonna be there. So Michelle, we're gonna kind of break down today's show
Yeah.
into two parts.
Hmm.
One, because you and I are actually doing quite a bit at
Hmm.
the conference this year. So we're going to share a little bit about that, some preview of those things, and then maybe just a few other sessions that maybe we're excited or potentially interested in. There's a lot to choose from, of course. And so, anyone who's listening, if you choose not to come to our sessions, you will lose our friendship forever, of course, right? um, but yeah, but there's so many great choices out there to look at, and so we're gonna play around with sharing some of those and kind of let you know where we're gonna be if you want to find us, if you want to come and chat with us, etc. So, we'll go in time order, Eshel. Is that okay? Like with the
Yeah, that's
by
totally
day and
fine.
by time. Okay, so I guess I'll go first. And this is a conversation. So there, well, okay, I guess I'll say. So it's called. There's an app for that, and it's a Tesol solution room. So Tesol does these things where they kind of have like there are some kind of general things that are going on, and then they have these things called a solution room where basically they have someone kind of sitting in there. It's an open exploration place, kind of like a playground, but this one is a tech playground, so people can come in, say, hey, I'm looking for something that does this, or I'm looking for something that does that, I want some advice on this or that. And it's not just that it's me. I'm kind of facilitating the room, but anybody can come in, and if you want some help with tech that can kind of help you out, that can kind of do what you're looking to do, hopefully I can help out. But Ishel, I'm asking you to come and help as well, if you don't mind.
That you're inviting me.
Yes, please, please be my my support.
VIP.
Yeah.
I'll be your tech support.
Yeah, so that's Wednesday from 10 o'clock to 11:15.
Hmm.
And I will also say that's a little bit of a longer one. So there are other sessions that kind of overlap in the time. And so if you want to go to another session and come pop in for, 10 or 15 minutes, that's totally welcome. Whatever you want to do is great. So but that'll be the first thing that I'm doing in there.
It's a really good way to start the conference, though. So,
Yeah. That'll be good. So, and then my second one is a panel presentation that I'm going to be part of. And Michelle, you and I are going to be on a different one, but this one is the first one,
hmm.
which is using artificial intelligence in EFL/ESL materials development. And so this one is we're talking with a couple of different people about ways to use AI to help develop materials, hopefully in appropriate ways. I mean, obviously, all of the teachers who are doing this are really trying to figure things out. So, if you're interested in developing materials, and I don't think that necessarily means like, hey, I'm writing a textbook for students, right? We could just be talking about like classroom use materials, etc. So where are the places that maybe this can help out? What are the some of the considerations that you want to think about, etc. So I am pretty excited about that to do that panel conversation, and that one is on Thursday the 20th, also in the morning. That one is 9 o'clock in the morning to 10:15.
And then if you aren't tired of Brent by then,
I think
you can
they're
go.
like already pausing out. They're like, okay, I'm done. Skip, skip, skip.
Brent and I will actually be on another panel.
Hmm.
This one will be exploring the impact of AI generated artworks on language learning. And this is that afternoon, Thursday, from 3 to 4:15. And I think it's worth coming to see what different people in the field are, how they're using AI and what the impact has been. So I think it's a really good way to kind of wrap up your day on a Wednesday.
Yeah, and I think that one will be cool too, because Michelle, you and I have
Mm-hmm.
talked a lot about that. Like, there's so much interesting and unexplored potential with the image generation. We've done
Mm-hmm.
previous episodes about that as well,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. Okay, and then Michelle, I'm gonna hand this one back over to you
Mm-hmm.
for our Friday session.
Yes, and our Friday session is happening in the morning, not too early because we're covering writing. So from 10 to 11:15, we will be talking about writing with AI and sharing strategies to individualize writing for ELs. And I think this one's going to be fun. Sorry, I have to toot our horn because I know that writing presentations usually seem like, oh my gosh, this is going to be but
Yeah.
I think again, we look at writing and how to make it engaging for students, especially like higher ed and then emerging students,
Hmm.
approach for emerging students, so emerging learners.
Yeah. I'm definitely exploring with it a lot in
Mm-hmm.
my current writing class, and
Mm-hmm.
I share about some of these things, of course, online too. But I
Yeah.
think for a lot of people, it'll be useful just to be able to sit down and go, okay, let me see this. Let me see this in
Yeah.
action, right?
So, and I let me we I probably should have said at the beginning, If you're currently wondering whether you should bring your device or not, do bring your device because
Yeah.
oftentimes the people that don't, they end up wanting to look over at someone else's. But it's just so much more fun if you're engaging with the technology as we're presenting, because then you start to see um, how much inspiration you'll get just from trying it out yourself.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, so
And
Ixchel,
then,
I have a bit of a surprise. This
cool.
is
What is
cool.
it? What is
So
it?
several months ago, maybe almost a year ago, I had suggested to Tesol. So I talked to some of the higher ups at Tesol, and I said, "Well, what's
Mm-hmm.
going on with like podcasting at Tesol, et cetera?"
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what do you mean?" Basically, was the question, and I said, "Well, what is there are a lot of people out there that are doing podcasting stuff in the TESOL field now it's
Mm-hmm.
growing, right? I think you've
Mm-hmm.
probably seen some of this. There's the Teacher Think Aloud podcast out there
Mm-hmm.
now. There's TESOL Pop. There's like all these other things. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, some of these people might be coming. Like, what if set up a booth for us to record at and just do like something live at TESOL? And they're like, oh, okay. And then they told me recently, they're like, Brent, we're doing the booth. We're putting it together, and
Yay!
basically it's an open place. So we can go there. Anybody can go there when they want to, and just kind of sit down and start doing recordings or making shows or whatever else it is. I'm not sure of all of the details. I think they're finalizing a little bit of it here in the last minutes, but that means that you and I are going to record a show live at
Mm-hmm.
TESOL.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. So last time at Cutisel, I walked around, asked some people for a few things, but this one's going to be like maybe more of a live actual show. We don't know exactly the time, so you'll have to follow us on,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram or something like that. We'll post about it and kind of clarify the details. But it's going to be awesome to be able to sit down, have people walking by, grab people that might have ideas to share, and record our episode in the session. So this episode is kind of our pre-TESOL session,
Yeah.
and then that means that the next episode that comes out will basically be a live at TESOL
Mm-hmm.
recording episode, and that's gonna be fun. It's something we haven't done exactly before, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, look for us.
Cool.
And then I will be at some point at the exhibitor booth for the Defense Language Institute.
Yay.
So come say hi, even if I'm not there. Come check out career opportunities in teaching, just like what I do. I think if you're looking for a full-time job, it's a place to go and just talk to some of us. And if I'm there, if I'm not on any other sessions, I'm happy to share with you.
Yeah, you're gonna be hustling all over the place to
I'm
get all
gonna
this
be
stuff done.
hustling. That's right. I want all the good teachers to come for me.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
work with me.
All right, and then here's the last one, Michelle, which is kind of unofficial, totally unofficial,
Hmm.
but we're going for it. So we are going to do a drinks with Diesel. Yay! All right.
But we haven't had a drinks with diesel since the pandemic.
Yeah, it's been years. And
Well, I was
so
born out of the pandemic.
it was, yeah. So getting everybody
Hmm.
online, kind of just getting like-minded people together who are into what we're talking about. So we just before the show we decided we're gonna do it. And so Wednesday, this will be a Wednesday night. So we're starting
Hmm.
early, right?
Hmm.
Not early in the day, but the early in the
It's the
session.
first
So
day.
the
Yeah, it's the
first day,
first
yeah.
day.
So hopefully people still have juice. They're excited about everything. They're ready to go. So
Yeah,
it's
come
gonna
unwind.
yeah, come unwind with us, come hang out. So we are going to, this is not official, so hopefully they don't block us at the door and have other parties going on. But we're going across the street. So straight across the street from the convention center, there's like a movie theater and like a kind of plaza over there, and there's a Irish pub called the Old Dubliner. That's AULD Dubliner, DUBLINER. And I think we're just gonna show up there from
Hmm.
5:30 to 7:30 is the plan.
Hmm.
So Ishel, what party favors are you going to be planning for the time? I'm giving you
uh,
3 seconds to prepare for this answer.
diesel patches and
Woo!
diesel stickers and diesel patches and diesel patches, which is a new swag. We have diesel patches.
Yay! I'm holding it up right now.
Also drinks with diesel coasters.
Oh yeah, do we
I
still
still
have
have
some
some
of
of those.
those? Oh, cool,
Yeah,
nice. So if you can bring some of those, that's great. So we'll be
I
giving
will.
away some stuff.
Mm.
If we can get a little section, maybe we can plan like a little, like do a little trivia game or something like
Hmm.
that back in the corner, like we used to do. Something fun if it works. If not, we'll just be hanging out with fun people, like-minded people.
Yeah, just unwind and
Yeah, and at the
connect.
very least, it's going to be you and me. But maybe a couple other people too. And so this is an open invitation. Walk across the street, show up to
Mm.
join us. 5:30 to 7:30. So that's still like, hey, if you just want to have one drink, if you just want to come and say hello, wonderful. If you want to extend the party longer than that, you can go do whatever you want to do. You could try and invite us and see see what mindset we're at the moment, how willing we are to keep going, but I'll probably be ready for dinner after that, I guess. Maybe
Hmm.
during that, I'm not sure. But
This is why we have our workshop a little later in the morning the next
yeah. So
day.
we need a little recovery time on Thursday from Wednesday night to Thursday. So we can't go too crazy, but we'll have some fun. So if you're wanting to join us, please do. That would be awesome.
Hmm.
Drinks with Diesel, Wednesday the 19th, 5:30 to 7:30, at the Old Dubliner. All right, Ishel. So I have I guess this is the
Another
first.
surprise.
Yeah, this is the first announcement. This is like a
Hmm.
full of surprises this time. So, you know that I've been working on my book for ISTE
Hmm.
for a while.
Hmm.
What you might not know is that at the same time, I've been doing a project of equal size and scope for Tesol, which is not a book, it's an online resource, but in terms of content, it's like the exact same
Hmm.
length. It's like 200
Hmm.
pages of work and all these ideas. And so what I have built is called the ELT Toolkit.
Hmm.
It's going to be released through TESOL basically right as the TESOL conference is opening up. And so this is for teachers who want a starting guide to many different tools that can help them out in the
Hmm.
classroom. And so I'm really excited about this.
I'm so excited about this too.
Yeah, it's been a lot of time and effort working on this,
Yeah.
trying to get everything put together. We're working with TESOL on like what's going to be the best thing. So they're kind of in charge of all the stuff. I'm just in charge of the
Hmm.
content.
Hmm.
But it's a lot, just like the idea here is, hey, I want to know what tools are out there that can help me be
Hmm.
more productive, that can help me work with my students, that are good for whatever different purposes. And so every activity or every tool, basically it's a tool guide, but you click on every tool and I've given a whole walkthrough, like an introduction
Hmm.
to into the basics of the tool or what we might need it for. I've also
Hmm.
gone a getting started guide on every single one. That's like 5, 6, 7, 8 steps on like how do you actually just use this thing on the first basic level. So just again, get your how do you get your toes wet with the different tools.
Hmm.
And then I did like a section called a deeper dive. So everything is like, hey, if you want to get more into it, here are some things that you can do. Then there's also similar tools. So, hey, I don't exactly have this tool, but maybe my school pays for another tool. Can I use this one? And so a
Hmm.
couple of related types of tools and also extra resources. So if there's like communities or, videos, or if, like I had written a blog post, or if there's an old TESOL connection article about it or whatever else it is. So it's pretty massive. I mean, it's been a lot of work going on. And so I am excited about this. And so if you have colleagues that are like, hey, I want to know more, like, how do I keep up with tools? This is going to be one way that you can do that. And I really hope it's useful for
And
people.
Brent, you can
Hmm.
purchase it at the conference, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So
They're going to,
bring it to the Diesel with drinks or
yeah.
the booth if you get yours. Maybe he'll sign it.
Well, it's not, you can't sign it. It's all digital. So
You
there's,
can
there's,
maybe you can sign
I'll,
their receipt.
yeah,
Take a picture with the author.
yeah, I'll take a picture. It says unfortunately it is not because of the nature of being
Mm-hmm.
online, right? So
Mm-hmm.
because it's all tools, so we need to be able to update it more quickly. So we're
Mm-hmm.
like, well, if we make this a book, it's not really going to be accessible, or it's accessible, but it's going to run out of ideas. It won't be evergreen, right?
So
And
they
so
can purchase it even before. Can they purchase?
Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to see. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Okay.
My guess is that they're going to be launching it like a day or two before
Mm,
TESOL, so it's coming out
mm-hmm,
very soon.
mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you're a member of TESOL, you'll get emails about it and see if you're interested. But also part of that first session is in connection with it. So doing
Mm-hmm.
that, there's an app for that is kind of also
Yeah,
helping
get it and come to the
helping people
session.
see a little bit about that too. So if you want to come into that
Very
session
cool.
and see what's going on, there'll be some shares around that. I
Awesome.
think they maybe said there'll be discounts if you're going to buy it
Mm-hmm.
during TESOL, etc. So the ELT Toolkit, I think this is the first time it's officially announced, and I really hope it's of value to you or to your colleagues out there. So give it a check out and see. Let me know what you think.
All right. So we're also going to be checking out a few sessions and we're going to list some that we thought might be interesting to check. We're probably going to check these out and they may be of interest to you. So Brent, I think you have an early one.
Yeah, yeah. So one that I was interested in, and I don't think these overlap with my own session. Maybe they do overlap a little bit. Maybe it does. Sorry, I can't go. The first one was exploring, not ignoring social justice issues in the ESL classroom. And so this is on going to be on Wednesday morning. Maybe I can't make it to that one. Shoot, maybe I can't. But it did seem pretty cool. So they're kind of
Mhm,
talking about the ideas of like controversial subjects and how do you bring them into the classroom, and especially hugely important right now, right? I mean, that
mhm.
is it's going things are going crazy all over the place, and so I am really interested to hear what they have to say. If I can't make it, one, I encourage you to go to it. To anyone
Mhm.
listening, to go to it if that's something you're interested in. But if not, they said it was really interesting. They're saying like, hey, there's issues like houselessness, Black Lives Matters, LGBTQ issues, Japanese American internment. I mean, all these
Mhm.
different things that can be hard to talk about. Even in the past, they were hard to talk about, and now they might even be harder. So I'd be interested to know what some of the techniques for doing that are.
Yeah, and my Wednesday session is a noon session. Um, it's called Education, Language, and the Brain: How Neuroscience Fosters Learning. I'm very much into brain and learning. So that's happening Wednesday at 12. So like lunchtime or so, right before lunchtime, 12 to 1:15 p.m. So
Mm,
I'll be
mm.
there.
Cool. So I found
Thursday
this
sessions.
Tuesday, Thursday,
Yeah,
yeah. So
Thursday.
Thursday, I found this one called, which I thought was kind of interesting seeming. It's called Empowering Older Adult ELs with Digital Literacy Using Smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, that might be interesting. Like, so I definitely do have some students that are like they use their phones and that's kind of it, right? They're not techie people. But when I looked at it as like, I don't know exactly if this is like a sponsored session or not, but basically he said, hey, this guy built like basically a paper first course is what it's called, a paper first course, but like helping people understand a little bit of how to use the technology. And so if you're working with adults and especially with older adults, but any
Mm-hmm.
level of beginner techie people, this might be a really interesting way to approach it. So it's like, hey, what are you familiar with and how do we bridge that gap? I like that idea because we all have students that are like trying to get along in the modern world, trying to learn English a little bit more, but maybe feel intimidated by a little bit of the harder core tech. And so I like that this is like a simplified approach to it. So I think that's going to be on Thursday at 1 o'clock, and I'm interested to check that out.
Okay, so my Thursday session is called Attitudes Toward Saudi English Among Saudi University Students and Educators.
Mm,
And I'm interested in that because, as many of you know, I recently was in Saudi, and I'm also taking Saudi Arabic at the moment, and so I'm just really interested about on this topic. And this
mm,
is happening in the afternoon, actually late in the afternoon, at the end of the day, 3:30 p.m. to 4 o'clock. So it's just a 30-minute session.
very cool. And then my last one here for Friday is called an AI integrated vocabulary learning framework for a reading classroom. Um, so obviously that kind of lines up with a lot of things that we talk about. But I think one thing that, I often kind of have mixed feelings about like, oh, do I already know about this or do I not? But like, if I can pull out one good nugget of wisdom from a session, something
Mhm.
that's going to be valuable, I'm really interested to see, especially with a little bit of research based. I think this one is, and so building vocabulary learning out of a reading classroom with AI. Friday afternoon, 12 o'clock to 12:45, not super long, and so that's one that I will be trying to get into and see what they're talking about over there.
Cool. And my last one for Friday, it's an afternoon one, is called Incorporating Four C's into Language Classes with Military Students in Ukraine. And
Mm,
right now it's quite relevant. So that's happening from 12 p.m. to 12:45 p.m. Again, right before lunchtime, I guess. Um,
yep.
and I'm excited to see what I believe it's teachers that higher ed teachers that have been working in Ukraine, or Ukrainian teachers is what I read. So
Nice.
I'm excited for that because I could probably learn a lot.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, like not everybody who's listening, you're going to have your own choices. Please choose the things that are most interesting and valuable to
Mm-hmm.
you. But these are some of the things that we're looking at, and it's cool to see a big variety of conversations. Right? You've got some of the traditional conversations, right? Like idioms in the classroom, and it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool, like those are fine. And also like world
A lot.
issues and
Mm-hmm.
tech issues and all these different things. So there's a really interesting and useful cross combination of things that I think anybody should be able to find several full days of sessions that will keep them interested and engaged.
All right, it is time for our fun finds. And this time I have discovered Mama Licha plantain chips,
Mm,
and I am hooked on them. They're about $1.25 a bag.
okay.
And I realized I'm hooked on them because I've purchased like 14 bags in the last 2 weeks. But it's like it's a small bag, so it's kind of, you can justify that little snack.
Okay.
And yeah, plantain chips. They
Yeah.
have sweet ones and they have salty ones.
Nice. Plantain chips are good. Yeah, I'm a fan. So
Mm-hmm.
cool. Okay, so mine is I think I told you we bought a car
Mm-hmm.
that can do some off-roading, and so there's lots of off-roading opportunities in Southern California. There's tons of mountains and ranges and all these different places, and so one place we went a couple of weeks ago was on the South Main Divide off of the Ortega Highway. So if you're kind of either in the Lake Elsinore area or San Juan Capistrano area, you drive up the top of the Ortega Highway, and then you can go in two different directions. You can go either north or south from there inside of the Cleveland National Forest, and we went south, all the way down. As far as it goes, I think past Murrieta, and it was really great. Lots of fun little roads. Not You don't have to be a hardcore, know all your stuff about off-roading. And then they also have inside of there, it wasn't open, I think because of the rain, but there's the Wildemar OHV area, which is like actually kind of like a skate park
Mm-hmm.
for your off-road vehicles, right? And so like
Mm-hmm.
they have all these like crazy paths that you can go test out and
Mm-hmm.
see like and kind of get like a little bit of a sense of how to do that driving.
Cool.
And so there's a few cool things out there if you're interested. That's South Main Divide and or the Wildomar OHV area.
Very cool. All right. For the show notes and other episodes, check out diesel.org/117 for episode 117. You can also find us on YouTube or Instagram at DieselPod.
That's right. And you can find me on the socials at Brent G. Warner.
You can find me currently on Blue Sky at Ixie_Pixie. That's IXY_PIXY.
All right, everybody. Definitely come find us for drinks with Diesel, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
But we'd love to see you all around. I think I'm definitely I'm told that I stand out, and so I should be easy enough to find. Ixchell, we'll make sure that you're easy enough. Let's put you in giant cat ears or something like that.
Yeah, if you see me, approach me. Don't be
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah, yeah. Please come say hello. Please do feel free to join us for drinks with Diesel, and we would love to see you. We got stuff to give to you for joining us on this crazy adventure we call the Diesel Podcast.
All right. See you at TESOL.
Bye.